Hi and welcome to another business tip from the Trades Coach, helping you to grow a more profitable business. Now, in an earlier video, I went over what gross profit or gross margin is, how to calculate it, and why it is so important in your business. And then we came up with that sort of magic gross profit percentage figure. Okay, so the next question I guess that I get asked having gone through that sort of process is, okay, that's great. How big does how much work do we need to do in order to achieve that kind of gross profit figure that we kind of want to or need to grow a sustainable business and to earn a decent income and to have a life? So stick around and I'll show you how. Hi, welcome back. So I've got some figures here on the board, or we're going to put some figures here on the board. It's a little kind of what I call a budget overview for a business. And this is often a place that I start with my clients in when we first start working together, just to kind of scope out kind of where they're at with their business and what they need to be thinking about or to get some ideas set in their minds as to what should be driving their pricing behavior. And what we do here is kind of build things from the bottom up in the profit and loss statement terms. So we start at the bottom, we start at what's the net profit of the business, adding on the overheads, adding on an owner's salary to try and calculate what that gross profit dollar figure needs to be in their business. So I'll show you how to do that. So in our little business here, we've decided, based on past results and what the profit and loss from the accountant sort of says, we have $50,000 of overheads in the business, and those are all the indirect costs in your business. Those aren't ones that get charged to a job. These are the ones like vehicle costs, insurances, the ones that you don't charge to the job, that is, phone costs, cost to rent an office if you have it, any administration costs, your accounting fees, legal fees, all those things that basically, what it costs you to get out of bed in the morning without, having to start to do any kind of work. So, missing a zero there. So our business, we're looking at $50,000 of overheads. Next line is one that a lot of people don't really kind of think about is, and again, most of my clients tend to be people who own the business, but they're still on the tools at least part of the time, okay? And often quite a large part of the income that is coming into their family is kind of generated with what they earn on the tools. But I think it's really healthy to put a figure, at least in this budget thing here, for, okay, that's great, you earn some money on the tools, that's fantastic, but you're taking the risk of running a business, and certainly the building industry is a risky business to be in. Plus, you're at night pricing work, you're chasing the dollars, you're doing all this sort of stuff after hours and things like this, managing things, finding staff, and a million and one other things you've got to do to run a business. You should be paying yourself or allowing in your costing processes something for an owner's salary, a manager salary, okay? So in our business here, this owner still is on the tools and the majority of their income from working on site, but we've decided, in addition to that he should be earning $40,000 for the pure management of the business. Okay, great. And then we look at, okay, as far as we want to leave some pure net profit in the business after all the overheads are paid, after you've paid yourself an owner's salary, we want to leave some pure net profit in the business to fund future growth, to pay down debt or what have you. And we've decided, based on the size of the business, that's going to be $30,000, okay? And again, the beauty of this is a budget sort of process, so you can play around with these figures. I have a spreadsheet that I use with my clients, so they can just run some different scenarios through here. But in this little instance, our business needs to generate $120,000 worth of gross profit in order to be successful and to be sustainable in the long term. And that it just helps you reset your thinking, I suppose, and kind of locks that figure in, just to say, well, okay, that's the non-negotiable figure now. That's kind of what we want to aim to achieve. And that's why this gross profit line in your reporting is so important. Okay, based on that, okay, well, how much revenue do you need to generate in order to get that figure? Okay, and I can't calculate that in my head, so I use a calculator. So the way you do that is you start with first $120,000 worth of gross profit, and to find what the revenue figure is at the the sales and at the top line, and these here are various gross profit percentage rates that you could look at in your business. So if you were achieving on average a 12% gross profit rate in your business, what you do is you take $120,000 and you divide that by the decimal of that, which is 0.12. So that means you need to do $1 million worth of revenue in order at 12% gross profit on average to achieve $120,000 gross profit. Okay, make sense? Don't believe me? Get a calculator and figure it out. Okay, so if you're achieving 15% gross profit, so we start again with $120,000 divided by 0.15 this time. So that's 800,000. Okay, so at a 15% gross profit, you need to secure $800,000 worth of work per year in order to make the whole thing kind of work. Okay, last one here, $120,000 again, divided by, again, 20% or 0.2 this time, is 600,000. Okay, and you've probably seen, obviously, that as the gross profit figure increases, you can get away with doing less work to achieve the same gross profit figure. Okay, again, that's why this is so important. A lot of people do say, around that profitability, I know my gross profit rate is a bit low. What I lose in profit, I'll make up for in turnover. Okay, and to a point, I guess that's okay, but you do need to be quite a bit bigger and be prepared to take more risk, because the more work you do, of course, the more risk that you are taking on, because there's more opportunities for things to go wrong. And the more work you do, you've got to manage all that work. So to me, if you can increase your profitability, you can afford to do less work and still make the same kind of money. Obviously, if you can increase the profitability, if you could get to, say, if you're at 15 and aim for 20, for example, and you get to do $1 million worth of work. Is that $1 million? Yep. Times 0.2. Okay, so the gross profit at that level means on $1 million worth of work at 20%, you're earning $200,000 worth of gross profit. So way more than that, and all that extra money is going into your pocket. Okay, so you need then to look at these figures and are they realistic for your business based on the number of team members that you have. And it's all very well saying, yep, I need to do $1 million worth of turnover, but if you've only got 2 guys in the business, that ain't going to work. You're not going to do $1 million worth of work unless you start building your places out of gold bricks or something like that. And I usually use around about $200,000 to $250,000 of revenue per person is typically what a building company can likely to achieve. and if you can, get to that sort of $250,000 per person, that means you need 4 good people in your business to achieve that kind of figure. So hopefully I haven't given you too many figures there to get too confusing about that, but this is just a very, very, very high level budget for your business, but it's a very simple one. And again, it gives you the opportunity just to run some figures through, run some scenarios through, rather than having to just do the work and then look at the end of the year and see what is left over. If you can run some figures at the beginning of the year, run some different scenarios, then you know kind of what plans you need to put in place to achieve that gross profit kind of level. So that's what we want for you. Okay, so as always, need to get a hold of me, andy@tradescoach.co.nz, or jump on the website, www.tradescoach.co.nz, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks very much.